hello there. All right, we've got a 5K test today. So yeah, we're doing a 5K test. We also have a 2K swim, which shouldn't be too bad, but there's a couple little testers in there that might kind of suck. This feels like a really awkward start. You know, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm sitting here right now, I'm like, I wanna redo the whole first clip, but I'm not gonna. We're gonna push through the weirdness. So we're gonna head to the track. We're gonna park, and then we'll walk to the track. And we got a 15-minute warm up, do some run drills, some strides, and then hop right into the 5K test. I'm a little bit nervous, but that's okay. There's more things I can talk about with that, and I probably will expand on in the next clip or two. But as of right now, let's get driving there. People, we're all warmed up. We're at the track, obviously. We did a 15-minute warm-up, just about a mile. We did some run drills and we did some strides. My legs don't feel great, I'm not gonna lie. My quads are a little bit like meh. But after doing that last stride, the second to last stride, I was like, oh yeah. And then the last one, I was like, oh yeah. So I think we're about as ready as we are. So since we're doing a 5K, we're not gonna end where we finished. So right now I'm gonna walk over. I'm running the whole time, and then you'll just see me on each other. So I'm just gonna count, like, I'm not really used to, like, anytime I do stuff in the meters or Ks, it's like you're doing speed stuff on the track, but it's short. Like the longest one would be like, I guess, a mile or something, or like 60 kilometers. Or you're doing it on camera. Mileage, I'm looking at whatever. So it's gonna count like 1K, 2K, 5K. The other thing is, like, I hope I don't lose track. Obviously, I'll notice something when I look at my watch, and if I'm 4 miles in, then I've gone a little far, but I don't think I'm gonna go that far without dying. So I'm gonna set this up, and then I guess I'll just put it on the second lane. There's no one else here, so I can take up the second lane for my camera. Strong headwind on the straight. Holy, excuse me. I guess the wind knocked the camera over, or those people walking, but I think it was the wind. 17:14 is our 5K time. Average heart rate, I think it was just 180. Felt good though, actually. And that last 200, I was like, all right, it's time to turn it on. I definitely feel like I could have held that pace for longer, but then again, that last 200, I was like, all right, this is it. So I tried to just run as fast as I can, build. So the last 200, I was like, all right, we got the 100 curve, the 100 straight. So I was like building for the 100 that was on the curve. And then the last 100, I was like, let's just try to fucking sprint. That was good. That wasn't, like, that was hard. But I was hyping it up more in my head. Like, I was like, oh, this is gonna be harder than I think. But, or not even that I think, it's just gonna be harder. But it wasn't, it was hard. That's all I'm saying. But it's done. So now we just have a 10-minute cool down, and then we're done. But then we gotta go swim. So then we're not actually done, we're just done with this one. All right, so we did that 5K test earlier. Right now, though, I'm pissed off because my fucking stomach hurts. It's actually so fucking annoying. Anytime I do some sort of speed shit, my stomach gets all fucked up. And right now it's fucked up and I'm pissed off. Oh, it's annoying. I gotta go to the pool. It's only like 2,000 yards, so it's not even that big of a swim, but it's like, it's just so fucking annoying. And I was just editing some stuff on my phone, and I was like laying down on the floor, I'm like, oh, my stomach feels good. I get up, bam, hurts again. I'm like, great, fucking stomach hurts. Crap! I'll stop complaining. I'm looking at my phone right now. I want to get the stats for the 5K so I can talk about those really quick. Because this video is all revolving around it. Shit. All right. Christ. So 5:32 average pace per mile, and total time 17:14, but the 5K time was 17:13. So let's go. 5,010 meters. Could pull up the lap so I could see what my actual mile times were. Oh. 5:39, 5:30, 5:35 were my mile times. So ideally, you go first mile is the slowest, last mile is the fastest. I went first mile is the slowest, second mile was the fastest, third mile was the medium. 39, 30, 35. And then the last, essentially 200 meters, I held a 4:46 pace. Because at that point I was like, all right, it's time to kick. Time to start moving. So yeah, overall that was pretty solid of a little 5K test. I was hoping to be closer to 16. Obviously 13 seconds away. But I was hoping I would be a little bit closer than that. But Garmin updated, my Garmin watch updated. My 5K time before this was like 17:30 something, whereas the most recent was like 41. And then it updated now to 17:01. And then for it gives you a prediction for your 5K, your 10K, I think it's 10K, and then your half marathon, and then your marathon. So my half marathon now is like 120, and then my marathon, it says I can run a 255. That's what it says I can do that, but in the past it was saying I could run like a 259 or a 3-hour marathon. Which I don't necessarily know how it gauges that, because Garmin can't gauge for that dog in you. What if you got that fucking dog in you? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how it gauges that, because before today it was 40 seconds off. 30 seconds off of my 5K time. So yeah, and that was going into the run with, I was on the bike for an hour and a half yesterday, I ran, and then I didn't do anything else after that. I went to the gym. But I was supposed to, the swim I'm doing today, I was supposed to do on Friday, but the gym was closed. Or like, I was at the gym on Friday, at the pool gym on Friday, doing a aerobic test. So I did a 5K on the treadmill, which was pretty easy. You're holding like a 140 some heart rate. It's aerobic. That's the point. But we were doing that, and then right during the cool down, the power went out in the entire gym. So like the treadmill turned off, and I was like, oh, almost like fell. But the treadmill turned off, all the lights turned off. All the old people were like, it was funny because it was still daytime, so all the windows are open, or like the sun's coming through all the windows, so you can still see perfectly fine, but there are people walking around with their flashlights on their phone. I was like, it's not even dark in here. But I was like, well, that's fine. The pool's outside, so they're not going to close that. So then I get ready to go. I go into the locker room. It's actually dark in there because there's no windows. And then I get ready to go into the pool. I start walking out there, and then they're kicking everybody out. Lovely, the entire building. They're like, it's a liability. We need everyone out of here. So I was like, shit. So instead of the swim on Friday, I ran for an hour, which is definitely why my legs didn't feel great today, because then we were on the bike and then we ran yesterday. And then we had this test today. So my legs kind of felt like, they felt worse yesterday. In doing that stuff, the bike and the run made them feel better. But in general, they were still kind of fatigued, and my quads were a little bit sore. But then after warming up and everything, I already said this, but after warming up and on that last little stride, I was like, all right, feel good. About as good as I was going to feel. I felt pretty solid. But I'm just naming all the excuses. But yeah, overall, I'm happy with how that 5K went. It was hard. It's like a weird distance because it's not like a mile. If you're going for an all-out mile, you're like, it's only 4 laps on the track. Like, I can do that. It's going to be hard essentially the whole time, but I can do that. 5K is like, it's obviously it's a little over 3 miles, just over 3 miles. And you're like, that's a long enough distance to where it's like a scary distance to be thinking like this is going to be hard the whole time. And it pretty much is. Like, it's hard the whole time. but it's also short enough to where it's like once it starts to really get hard, you're pretty much done, which was also nice. So by the time I got to that last 1,000 meters, I was like, all right, it's 2 more laps to the 200 and we're done. Although I did lose track, like right when, luckily the watch it counts your miles, but also counts your meters, like the total meters. Cause I was like, right after that first 1,000 meter, I lost it. I was like, I don't know where I'm at. I don't know where the hell I'm at with this. So if it was relying on me to keep track of it, I wouldn't have gotten done correctly. So luckily I was able to look at this. But I looked down and I was like, all right, got it. Well, I was like, all right, 2,500, we're halfway done. And then you just keep going around. And then that last 1,000, I was like, we're almost done. And then that last 200 meters, I was like, kick it into high gear. And we did that. Yeah, it was solid. I'm not disappointed with the time. In high school, I ran cross country in high school, and I ran it was either a 1640 something or a 1650 something, which that's cross country, so that's not on a track, that's in like a fucking field. You're running through grass and hills and uneven ground. So obviously, I mean, honestly, I think my fitness is probably better now than it was then, but I weigh a lot more than I did then. I was like 100. That year was probably like my sophomore year, I think, and I was probably still like 120, 30, 40 pounds around there. And I weigh 170, usually like 173 right now. So I'm carrying a lot more weight, obviously, but I do think fitness-wise, I probably am in better shape because I really didn't fucking try in high school. But that's like a reference number in my head of like, all right, well, you've done that before. A long time ago, situations were different, your body was different, all that stuff, but I would like to get in the 16s, and I think that's still, I'm perfectly capable of doing that just in a couple months or something. We'll revisit these tests too, and it even said that. But it's a good marker to have, because like speed work, it's always like, a lot of it's like, do this at a 5K pace. And I was basing it off what my Garmin told me what 5K was, which was 1730 something, 1740 something. But now I can be like, base it off a 1713 pace. It's a 532 per mile. So yeah. So plan now, the pool closes at 6 and it's 4:18, so I need to get moving. And then I'm gonna go swim, 2K yards. It's like a 400, 400, 400 of warming up, kick fin paddles, 4x50, 4x100, 4x50, and then 100 cool down. The 50s, 100s, and the 50s are like descending, and then, which means they're getting faster as you do them, and then I gotta mark the times for them. I don't know, I took a picture of the thing because obviously I'm not gonna remember all that. But that's what we have to do. It's not like a really big workout or a big swim, but my stomach, now my stomach's feeling better from when I started this clip. But if I stand up and it hurts again, I'm gonna get pissed off. So that's another reason why I don't like to do like aggressive runs early in the morning if I have to do other things in the day. Because it tends to fuck up my stomach. Because if I run in the morning, I need time to like wake up, drink coffee, have electrolytes, and like let all that stuff kind of settle and get moved from my stomach. Because if I rush into the run, then my stomach gets turned upside down, and it's kind of like that for the rest of the day. So like right now, it's like it's probably just gonna feel weird for the rest of the day. This is how it's gonna be, which is annoying. So like even the days when I've had like speed workout before the swim, I'm always like, yeah, but then my stomach's gonna get fucked up. And then it's like, I'd rather, even if there's benefit to having the run first and then the swim, I'm like, that doesn't outweigh the benefit of me actually getting both workouts done. Because sometimes it's like my stomach's that messed up and I can't swim. That's not good. So, yeah. Anyways, let's go swim. This probably won't be the last clip of this video. I'll bring the camera with me, but I'm not gonna open it up on the pool deck or anything like that. Then we gotta do 100 pull-ups, and that's pretty much it. That's not it for the day. But in terms of working out stuff, that's it for the day. I'm gonna break it out real quick. We got an empty pool. Hot tub's not empty though. Sauna's closed. But we're gonna rip the swim. Plan is to hopefully have some time to get in that hot tub and slow boil for a minute. Hello there. Good morning. So yesterday was Sunday. Yesterday we did the 5K test, the swim, and then I think the last clips you saw were me not talking, doing the 100 pull-ups at the pool gym. We got all those things done yesterday. 5K test went well. Probably already talked about it, but was hoping to be closer to 16, but I'll take 17-13. I'm happy with that. And in probably like a couple months, it'll be in the 16s, high 16s. So that's cool. Swim went well. I definitely didn't want to. My stomach, I don't even know if you could see my face right now. Just do that. I think you can see my face now. Swim went well. I definitely didn't want to. It was cold outside, but again, you won't hear me complaining about this cold weather. It's like 30-some degrees out right now, but it's going to be hot again in not that much time. So I'm really trying to soak it all up. But it was cold, and then my stomach was like not having it, but I didn't want to skip it. I knew I didn't want to skip it. And then I tried to give, the pool closed at 6, so I just tried to give myself as much time to like rest before going to swim and let my stomach recover. And for the most part it did. It felt a little rocky, but then it got better by the end, which was good. And then I sat in the hot tub for like 10 minutes, and then they kicked us out, which was cool. Hot tub was nice. Also met another dude doing Ironman Jacksonville in the hot tub. So talked to him for a while, so that was cool. And then, yeah, had a good day. Trying to think of, the only really talking point I have is of right now. So it's the morning, obviously. And I just woke up, still, I guess almost exactly an hour ago now. But this moment, like I wake up, I have electrolytes, creatine, and I'll have like a multivitamin, and then I'll drink my coffee. And I've been very much enjoying having my mornings be like calm and chill. Like I'll wake up, I'll post a daily doodle, and I'll try to be off my phone for other than that. And then just kind of sit here and think like, wait, POV. You can't really, I wish I could do a wide angle, but legs crossed and I'm just staring. This is what I'm staring at. Just staring at that back wall. And trying to think and do these mental maintenance moments. There's no external noise, no one else talking. I don't have any podcasts going, no music, no videos. No one's around, it's just me. So what do I think? And where are my values at? And what are all these things? Like who am I? And these are, God, I don't think you can see my face. But I should be sitting the other way with the sun. But and just trying to remember all those things, because I think one of the things I've kind of realized lately, I'm like, what are my values? I know my values, but I think I've kind of forgot them a little bit in some regards to different things in life. There's reasons to that. One of them is I don't think I've really given myself the time to do stuff like this. Sit here in silence, because the thing with social media is it requires you to be on your phone so much, so like editing and all that stuff. And obviously I spend more time on my computer or on my phone than I need to. That's not in regard to like stuff I need to do, so I can definitely make up time there. But also just depending on who you're around, and maybe you're not misaligned, but maybe you just have different values than other people and see things differently, and everyone's different. So when you're around people that maybe you're not always totally aligned with all the time, it takes a lot of mental energy, and it takes a lot of energy to remember what you value and remember what you want, and all your whys and all these things. It takes a lot of energy to do that, and then to keep doing that, and then to keep remembering and to keep reminding yourself when, in a sense, that's like the friction point, because it's easier to fall into the thing that's not what you're aligned with, and that's kind of, it's easier to fall into what you're not aligned with when that's the norm. So the friction point is sticking to what you know to be true to you, and again, what aligns with your values. And that can be tough to do all the time, in a sense. And I think that's another thing where I'm like, oh, maybe I've kind of forgotten some of my values, and or just been lazy in remembering them, or been lazy in reinforcing them to myself. So that's another thing. So I think having these types of moments are very important. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have. I don't want to make this video too long. So yeah. So in conclusion, push yourself. One of the things I tell myself a lot, especially like yesterday, for example, with my stomach, don't let your emotions dictate your outcomes. Now, even though my stomach hurting isn't necessarily an emotion, but like the emotions from it were like, I was frustrated in that one clip, and part of it was because of my stomach, and then the other part of it was because I didn't want to frickin' swim. And then I was like, if my stomach hurts, this is gonna make it worse. But I had to get it done. I wanted to get it done. I needed to get it done, so I got it done anyways, regardless of my emotions about it. So that's something I try to tell myself a lot. One thing I try to tell myself a lot about with the phone, and I used to be really good about it, and I was just like, there ain't nothing for you to look at on there. So like, I would want to, I'd even hold it in my phone or in my hand. I'd be like, and I'd toss it, and I'd be like, it ain't nothing for you to look at on there. Because it really isn't. There's good value you can find on stuff, but to do it all the time, there's no. And then find those moments of stillness. Ask yourself, what do I want? What are my values? Realign yourself with yourself. Carl Jung, psychologist, I'm sure a lot of people have heard about him. He talks a lot about your shadow self. Connect, integrate that shadow self. So yeah, that's all I got. I'm going to end this right now before I stop talking. So have a great day and get better today, baby.